guys, the Jazzy Nerd here. Welcome back to another episode of Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets as we once again run in circles.
Hi, would you consider a trade?
In the last episode, we went through my favorite area in the game, got some powdered bicorn horn for the polyjuice potion that Hermione's cooking up, and then we learned that there's a dueling club that's starting up today. So we're going to go do that. But first, I need to keep a promise. What I said about Cornelius Agrippa. Oh, they do have the right dates. I was thinking they had the wrong dates. He actually was a real person. He was a writer and I guess also kind of an astrologer in the 15th and 16th centuries, as you can see right here. And I did a ton of research on the guy. I've got a whole bunch of things right here. And as a result of that research, this guy actually became one of my favorite historical figures. He was apparently one of the world's first feminists as well. He wrote a book called The Nobility of the Female Sex and the Superiority of Women, which, considering when it was written, probably would have given the entire Catholic Church a collective heart attack. He also wrote 3 books on occult philosophy. That's the name of the work. Occult in this case meaning hidden, which was the original meaning of the word, not what it means these days, which is like, I don't really know how to describe what the word occult is usually used to mean these days. And these books were extremely wide-ranged. He wrote on enchantment, sorcery, divination, numerology, which is the study of numbers as symbols, the Christian Trinity, the names of God, and even a little bit on hell and demons. So I honestly kind of want to go read this guy's stuff now. He also wrote on things like marriage and the plague. He was a pretty versatile guy, a Renaissance man, if you will. And I can totally understand that the Harry Potter world would say, oh, this guy was totally a wizard. The other thing I need, actually there's 2 things I need to mention, and one of them is about video quality. I don't know what keeps happening with my video quality. I record an episode and it looks fine while I'm recording it, but when I watch it back, I mean, not all of the animations are laggy, but Harry's walking animation is really laggy. I don't know what keeps happening. I really don't. I tried changing the frame rate I was recording in from 60 down to 30. It didn't really help all that much. I don't know what keeps happening, but anyway, the other thing I need to talk about is I'm standing on a railing. No, not that I'm standing on a railing. But as I walk around on this railing, there's something, oops, that I've been meaning to mention in this playthrough for a long time. This was originally supposed to be my first playthrough on the channel. That didn't happen, obviously, because, as I think I've already mentioned, my old recording software couldn't really handle it. So, but I was originally intending to essentially open the series with basically the declaration of faith that I made early on in the Diamond series. And I'm trying to land back on that railing and it's not working. Anyway, So that was what I was planning to do, and of course that ended up not happening because this series wasn't the first one I did.
I beg your pardon?
Sorry. And I mean, once I did that, I would have to address the issue of conservative Christians and their views of Harry Potter, which I kind of touched on during the Quidditch episode. Yeah. That, you know, satanic propaganda, drivel, etc., etc., etc. Of course, because, you know, magic and whatnot. But see, here's the thing. For one thing, it's really obvious the people who think that have never actually read Harry Potter, and they're only going simply because, you know, there's magic in it. Because, I mean, if there's any religious imagery in Harry Potter at all, it's that the end of the final book turns Harry into almost a Christ figure. I won't spoil it, but if you've ever been to church in your life, you can probably guess where I'm going with this. And on the whole subject of magic, I mean, I know what the Bible says, but if you ask me, it's more what you, I mean, if it were real, and I mean, it's not real, but if it were real, then I think it would be more, not simply, this is hard to explain. It would be more, it's more, with anything, it's more, it's not so much what you do as why you do it.
Mother told me that a tiny touch of bat fur in each shoe will keep you from getting blisters during Quidditch.
Okay, that's strange. Anyway, now that I've done making that somewhat clunky explanation, I have to say, okay, you look in the Great Hall, and it doesn't look like there's anything going on in there, right? Wrong.
Can anyone see me? Can you all hear me? Excellent. I started Dueling Club to train you to defend yourselves. Dueling Club meets every day in the antechamber just outside the Great Hall. In wizard dueling, the object of the exercise is to incapacitate your opponent. There are 3 spells you may use in dueling. Rictus Sempra, which knocks your opponent back and reduces stamina. Mimble Wimble, which prevents
Such a great name for a spell.
casting their next spell. Expelliarmus, which reflects spells back onto your opponent. To select a spell, scroll through them by using the space bar or the right mouse button. To cast a selected spell on your opponent, press the left mouse button. You may build up the strength of Rictus Sempra and Mimble Wimble by holding the left mouse button down. Note that potion drinking and jumping during duels are prohibited. A pledge of Bertie Bott's every flavored beans is required to duel. The victor wins the opponent's beans.
Ah,
To
bad
challenge a
textures.
student to a duel, simply walk up to them. If you have enough beans, you will be invited to duel. My assistant, Professor Snape,
I am your colleague, not your assistant.
has informed me that he knows a tiny bit about dueling and has graciously agreed to monitor the duels. And now for a brief demonstration. Mr. Potter, if you would like to partner up with Mr. Weasley...
I don't think so. Time to split up the dream team, I think. Mr. Malfoy, come over here. Let's see what you can make of the famous Potter.
Thrashing, you will be a treat, Potter.
Okay, here we go.
Well then, one's at the ready. When I count to 3.
Scared, Potter? You wish.
1, 2,
Okay.
Have the pleasure of
Controls are pretty much the
great
same.
Slytherin house.
Keep moving from side to side. Malfoy is just spamming pretty much. See, but now that I'm firing spells, he's using Expelliarmus. Which is... mostly the AI in duels will spam Expelliarmus. If we switch over to Expelliarmus, and I can show this, when you use Expelliarmus and return a spell, it gets stronger in power. So if you can get a good volley going with Expelliarmus, you can turn a small spell into something very, very strong. It's a good strategy. Mimblewimble's not that useful because the effect of making your opponent unable to cast only lasts for a few seconds.
Leave me alone! What was that? Did Harry just hiss?
Oh, that couldn't have been.
It couldn't be. Not him.
You're a parcel mouth, Harry. You can talk to snakes.
Why does it matter?
It matters, Harry, because being able to talk to snakes was what Salazar Slytherin was famous for. Oh no!
I have to admit, they do partial tongue really poorly in this game.
Great-great-grandson or something. But I'm not. Anyway.
It sounds exactly like Harry's ordinary voice. It's done really badly.
Harry lay awake for hours that night, wondering, could he be a descendant of Salazar Slytherin?
I won't be seeing you in herbology class. I'll be in Moaning Matter's bathroom working on the polyjuice potion.
I can't believe Hermione is skipping class. Well, we better get outside to herbology, Harry. Come on.
Okay. We're not going to herbology in this episode. I want to keep this one short and just focus on the dueling. But there is something, a follow-up I need to show off. Okay, when he said that Dueling Club meets in the antechamber outside the Great Hall, he meant this area. If you talk to that guy, you can duel. See, if you walk up to him, so you have to put 10 beans into the jar to duel him. If you win, you get double that. His beans and your beans. And there are 10 students you can duel. This last guy, who will be standing right here once you beat all the others, requires a pledge of 200 beans. So every time you beat him, you get 200 additional beans. This is the Dueling Club list. All the students you can take on actually have names, which is kind of cool. Edward's the first guy, Peter is the last guy. Once you beat somebody, you'll have the word Harry with an exclamation point written in yellow in the spot occupied by the person you just beat. So this is a great way to grind beans if you need more. However, I do recommend that once you beat the last guy the first time, I will be showing off all of this eventually. Once you beat the last guy the first time, you go back one, take on the second to last person, because the last guy is quite difficult to beat. See, after about the 5th person you duel, they start adding hazards to the fields. And when you take on the last guy, the field is about half the size of what it is for all the others. It's very hard to dodge spells. And then was there anything else I wanted to do? I have no clue how long I've been recording for. Well, let's head in the general direction of herbology, see if I can find a save book or something. I don't know how long I've been recording for. I can't check. There's a save book near Hagrid's hut. The spell we're about to learn is a very useful one. Whoops. Okay, now that guy with the bean, he's the only bean trader in all of Hogwarts who trades bronze cards. Okay. Now here's the greenhouse. This is where herbology is taught. Okay. You cannot get those beans over there right now. There's a cutscene trigger that you'll walk into if you try to. Ooh. Well, looks like I will have to put one annotation in this video. Well, we might as well.
Welcome to second year herbal, everyone. And for those of you who have forgotten, I am Professor Sprout. Let's dig right in, shall we? Today I'll teach you Diffindo, the severing charm. Harry Potter, would you like to plant your feet in front of class and be the first to learn the spell?
I'd be glad to, Professor Sprout.
She uses a lot of
Taking a
plant
leaf from
metaphors.
Hermione's book, aren't you?
And in this cutscene, so does Ron.
Now, Mr. Potter, please fix your gaze on the symbol in front of you. See the pointer? It's about to move its way around the shape. When the pointer passes directly over the arrow, press the corresponding arrow key. This exercise is in 3 parts. In each part, you must be accurate in order to progress. Ready to try? Round 1, go.
This one is not that hard.
Well done.
I think it is a little bit tricky with the up, down, up, because I know that when I put my fingers on the arrow keys, no finger of mine naturally rests on the down arrow. So that does make it a little bit tricky.
Well done.
But again, the pointer doesn't move that fast. I want to press the arrows faster than the pointer is moving, to be honest.
Round 3, go.
Okay, we're good.
You've completed all of the exercises in top form. 15 points to Gryffindor. You have learnt Diffindo, Harry. We've planted a seed of greatness here today. Now let's move on to the Diffindo challenge.
You gotta wonder what all the other students are thinking. That Harry gets to go play this awesome challenge and they're all stuck in class.
Welcome, Harry Potter, to my Diffindo challenge. To complete the challenge, you must find the completion star, which can be found in a hallway just above you. Try to get to it as quickly as you can. If the challenge timer reaches 0 before you have the completion star, you lose the challenge. Along the way, you will find challenge stars. Collecting challenge stars will boost your timer and score. I highly recommend you try to find all of them. Try to get the completion star with as many seconds remaining as possible. The higher your score is when you complete the challenge, the more house points I will award you. Some vines and plant growth can cover doorways and openings. You can use Diffindo to cut through them and clear your paths.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna end this here. I know now that it does save automatically when you enter a new area, so I can save here without having to worry. Or not save here, end here. Anyway, that was kind of an eventful episode. We now know what this menu is for. We learned how to duel, we kicked Malfoy's butt, and we also got access to a way of grinding beans. In the next episode, we will play the Defendo Challenge, which is my favorite challenge, by the way. So I will see you guys tomorrow. Until then, stay jazzy.